Well, one thing you can't dispute in this poor season is Plymouth Argyle fans' sense of humour. Tom, the Pilgrim, says the playoff challenge is now back on. Welcome back to Where Pilgrims Walk. Hope you're doing well. You must be doing slightly better than when I last spoke to you anyway. We've got Rhys and Chris here who are fresh back from Vale Park to talk about, yes, 3 points on the board and off the bottom of the table for now. But, as some have suggested, is it just papering over cracks? Lee says 3 points, but paper over all the cracks, and it keeps him in charge for longer. What's our view on it? Plus, we're talking about, of course, the players returning as well, Ralls and others. They what have been desperately needed. 15, 20 minutes of Argyle chat. How are you doing, Rhys? You look a little bit more colourful than the last time we spoke. How was it?
Well, the journey back from Port Vale was actually an enjoyable one for once, rather than being in a foul mood and not talking to anyone. Yeah, wow. I think I'm getting on board with the playoffs. We're only 12 points from top now. I think it is. So no. It's, in all seriousness, it's. I think the most important thing from Saturday was 3 points. And then the clean sheet as well was a real good bonus. He was always going to go back there and score, wasn't he? He played the pantomime villain absolutely perfectly all day. And then was it 16 seconds into the second half, he goes and prods it past the keeper. Yeah, I think that it's clearly there was issues still. I think a better team than we wouldn't have been anywhere near that result. However, we've got to take confidence from it. We have to go a clean sheet and we beat a team. Let's use it as a foothold and try and go forward. None of us want Cleverly to fail. None of us want us to become a sacking club. We all want this to work. And now it's time for them to prove it, isn't it? It's now time for the whole team. There was a bit of grit and determination between their teeth this week. Let's see if they can continue that this weekend with Northampton.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, I did think of you when that heard that goal going on the radio. On Saturday. Yeah, I mean, were you? Someone suggested that without Connor Hazard, you wouldn't have won that. I mean, were you lucky, or do you not care? It's just yeah, you won. Let's forget about it.
Well, it was that scenario all about the result, wasn't it? Yes, the performance was important, but it was all about the result, and we got the result. And everyone was saying prior to the game, if we don't get that result, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Well, we got the result, so let's move on from there. And we got it with suffering because one of our better midfielders, Bradley Abraham, he appears now to be going out for the rest of the season, arguably. Certainly out for a few months. So we got it without our first team. We're suffering with injuries badly. But I've got to say, it was a great result, great performance. But we were playing Port Vale, and I've got to be honest with you, Port Vale look a poor side. They got nobody up front. You can see why they're the worst goal scorers in that division. If they had people to take their chances like we got Tolaj, they should have been winning that game 3-4-1, really. They had chances both halves. Terrible misses that they were coming out with. Yes, Hazard played well. He did what he had to do, but he wasn't stretched as much as what people might think. They had headers off target, shots that were off target, ones that tap-ins that they were missing. So we ruled our luck. Let's not beat about the bush there. But we came away with 3 points, and like I said, it's all about the result. So we move on now. We've got a couple of home games that hopefully we can get some points on the board with that. Cleverly set a target. He's not going to say what that target is for regarding points, and I can't blame him for that. Puts players under pressure, but we got 2 home games now, Northampton on Saturday and then followed by Bradford. So we can get something out of those games, and long may it continue. We've moved up from 24th to the heady heights of 23rd. But after all that, we're only 1 point away from those up the road who are out of the bottom 4. So it's all to play for.
Okay, let's just shout out the travelling fans, though, shall we? I mean, both of you are within this mix here, but if we think back, I mean, the 18th of October, Rhys, was the last time you were at Home Park, and in between then you've been to obviously that lot down the road, in Mansfield, Wickham in the Cup, Huddersfield, Bristol Rovers, Vale, of course, as well. And does it feel like ages ago since you sat in Home Park with all that's going on? And has it been a good thing that actually all this drama has been going on, without the toxic environment potentially of playing at home?
Well, I've got to try and find my season ticket again for Saturday, which is going to. I don't know. It's probably in the depths of my wallet somewhere. I don't know where that's gone, but no, I think so. I think that's probably what saved Cleverley's job the last couple of weeks, is that it has been away from home. As much as online, it's been very toxic, and at the away end, it's been very toxic. It's very different when the entire stadium turns, isn't it? And right in front of all the board members. I'm sure that there's board members at every game, but your chairman's not there. Every single member of the board isn't there. And it's very different. Yeah, I think it's probably saved his job. However, the fact that it was 888 still of us doing 480 miles round trip for 12:30 that was on Sky says everything you need to know about this club. And it's not something that they should keep taking for granted. You know, I quite enjoyed the away end. It was a good, lively away end. Not once did anyone get on the back of the players. Even the first half was shocking game of football. To be honest, it was awful. Both sides were shocking. No one got on the back of them. And then second half, we were rewarded. And yeah, the scenes at the end of the game. That's what you follow football for. That's what you enjoy for. No matter what happens this season, we've got to sort of take those moments, and hopefully that's what the players enjoy. That hopefully the players understand now what it means, and they showed a bit of passion there. They showed some passion. They were throwing themselves in front of the balls. You said Hannah Hazard, yeah, he was good, but he was also protected by his defence a couple of times. You know, weren't getting that 2 weeks ago. We weren't getting them throwing their bodies in the way of the ball. It was just we conceded. Oh well, whatever. We'll move on.
Okay.
So yeah, it seemed like a lot more. Everyone was working as a team again. The players and the fans were all on one page again, which was nice.
Okay. Some fans have pointed out it's the Derek Adams effect, Chris, which we'll come and talk about in a second, of course, and get your views on that. Lots of fans have pointed to one player in particular, Joe Ralls, his first Argyle appearance at the weekend. What did you make to his contribution, Chris?
Well, he only had about, what was it, a 20-minute spell, and you got to say what he did. He did well. He did 30, 32, 33. We gained a bit of experience on Saturday. We had Joe Edwards come on in his 30s. We had Jamie Patterson come on in his 30s, and Joe Rose. So there's three players, all in their 30s, plenty of experience between them, loads of League One experience between all three. So we've been missing that. We've had youngsters who's not been of the quality, not been the caring, not been the passion or the effort. Well, those three are going to roll their sleeves up and then give them a bit of a rollicking if they're not coming up to standard. And that's what you want to see at Argyle. No matter be it home or away, you want somebody to put the shift in. And on Saturday, we saw 11 players putting the shift in. It's the same again with injuries. We had Benarous come on, and he lasted 10 minutes and he was off again. The bloke's made of glass. And he'd be okay if he could do away without his injuries. But I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, long may it continue. And man of the match, my man of the season already, Lorent Tolaj. What a guy. I mean, he was rigging them up left, right and centre. He was doing everything he could. All the dark arts coming out against his old team, and they couldn't hack it. They was pulling his ponytail. They were doing everything they could to try to get him annoyed, and he was just laughing in their faces. Absolutely brilliant. That man, for me, is the best striker in this division, number 9 for me, than any other person in his position. I wouldn't take anybody above him at this moment. That's how much I rate that guy. He can come in here on Christmas Day, eat all my food and be sick on the floor and not apologise. I'll cook for that. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Okay. Some other players that people wanted to shout out. Jacob says here, nobody's talking about Boateng or Ralls. Both were class. Well, this one though, Rhys, McCabe needs to look to turn more often. That's how chances are made, by running at the opponents, drawing them in, and then playing a good ball to a supporting teammate. Do you agree on this criticism
there? Well, I'll go back to the Boateng thing. I'm not sure what game he was watching. I think he was personally very poor. I think I've been quite disappointed with him the last couple of weeks. But yeah, McCabe frustrates me. McCabe really frustrates me. There's a lot of people rave about him. I'm not sold on him yet. There's a brilliant player in there. There's an absolute brilliant player in there. But for me, for a holding midfielder, he comes in and he's doing almost the Randall job of last season, but he doesn't grab a game by the scruff of its neck and play anywhere near expansive football that you would want to see. He may not be the most skillful player in the world, whatever, that's fine. There's an art in that, taking the ball down and knowing when to go with it, when to pass it, when to dribble with it, or you want a long ball over top. He's very good at bringing the ball down and passing it to the opposition. And as often he doesn't even want the ball. He doesn't offer for the ball far too enough for a midfielder. For me, I don't really see him fitting into our squad at the moment. I think he's being played because he's an England under-20. He's got promise. I think that's possibly. And we haven't got any other options. Let's be honest. So yeah, for me, I'm struggling with McCabe. I really am. I liked saying that. At the same time, the goal came from him, and that's what I want to see him do more. Is that running into space, drawing a defender to him, and then playing it out to Sorano, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that way worked perfectly in the second half. He did a little bit more of that, but for me, it's he's 19. Is he 19, 18, 19, something like that? So he's got a lot of
Yeah.
learning to do. I just don't think a relegation battle's for him personally.
The biggest news over the international break, Chris, was Derek Adams returning to take up the position of director of football. Did you see that coming first of all, and what was your reaction to it?
I did, to be fair. In fact, I mentioned 2 weeks ago on the pod that we were going to be getting a director of football, and there was a bit of a rumour it might have been a certain Mr. Adams. So, yeah, his returning wasn't a great shock for me. And to be fair, I think it's a great appointment. He's not going to stand on anyone's, he's not going to suffer fools gladly. That's a start. He don't take mess from anyone, be it chairman or whoever. So he'll have a say, and he'll put his authority on things. I don't think Tom sees it as a threat, but he's going to have a say in recruitment, and he's going to look at how we've done things recently, which it's clear it's not been great. It's not been great with contracts. It's not been great of who we've signed, and it's not been great with some of the promises I think that's been made, which have not come to fruition. So he'll run that by, and hopefully in January we're going to see some additions, quality additions to the squad, and I see Derek Adams as a man to be able to do that.
Guaranteed, Jan Songo's coming back.
Right, okay.
Rhys, obviously he's been in the dugout himself before. He was there for I think 4 years, wasn't he? 2017, 2019 era. Does that help Cleverly? Knowing that he's got, or hinder him that there's somebody there who knows the roles, has done it before. Some people have seen this as a kind of a. I know Chris has said it's no threat to Cleverly, but it's been the view from some fans that perhaps if it all goes south, then you've now got 3 people who can now just jump into that hot seat and steer the ship.
I think it's definitely going to help Cleverly. I think Derek Adams knows the club. He knows the fans. I mean, he left in a bit of a cloud of smoke, should we say? It wasn't in the best terms that he left, but he's certainly become. I think people respect him since he left. I think all the stress of that season got the better of Adams, and it all got a bit silly with some of the things he was calling the fans and stuff. But no, I think he's not going to take any fools. He'll definitely going to support Cleverly. I think from listening to his joining interview, whatever you want to call it, it's very much a support role. It's what can I do to help Cleverly fix the problems that he's currently got in players, recruitment, whatever it is. How can I help him better? How can I be that advisor to him and really help benefit the club? You look at when Schumacher and Lowe joined, they bought Dewsnip with them as an advisor originally. It wasn't even director of football. He was just there to give a shoulder to talk to. You know what I mean? That sort of person, just run ideas past. It's been there, done it with youngsters and stuff, and knows how to knows the league. And Derek Adams definitely knows this league. He knows English football, and he's a very, very good manager on his day. Do I think? I think it's bound to be a threat. It's bound to be a threat to him. You know, if he gets sacked, it's a perfect man to step in for a couple of games. However, I don't think he wants to be manager. I generally don't believe he's here as a long-term manager. He'll come in and if he's going to look after the team for a few weeks, it's a perfect man to do it, isn't it? It's a manager that knows the league. He's then going to go and help the club find a good manager. I don't. He's not going to be one of these ones that's just going to go to a mate and hire them. He will interview and he'll get who's the right man for the job. I think from a fan's perspective, I think it has to be a positive. He will defend the fans. He will defend the club. He will defend everything from the football inside. And if the board, as there's rumours that have been failing on providing the club with the footballing staff, he ain't gonna mess about. He's gonna tell people, and he will make sure the media know about what's going on. He isn't scared to say things and hide behind, or he's there my employer. He don't care. He's going to say it as it is. So from a fan perspective, I think we have to see it as a positive. He's going to defend our interests at the end of the day, I think.
Before we move on, just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed all our content so far. We've had some really passionate discussions on here in the last couple of weeks, which a couple have gone viral. So thank you for all your support. If you haven't yet subbed to the channel, there's fantastic Plymouth podcasts out there. Hello to Carl and everyone and other ones as well. Hope you're all doing good in these dark times. But it'd be lovely if you could just give us a quick sub and help us grow this more content. Chris, I have to ban you from the next item because we're talking about dodgy goalkeepers, if that's okay. And as part of the Goalkeepers Union, you may not want to take part in this one, but we've had some really interesting goalkeeping blunders in League One. So it's got us thinking about the worst goalkeepers of all time that we've seen. And in the comments, who is the worst goalkeeper that Argyle have had between the sticks? I won't come to you, Chris, unless you want me to. Rhys?
We've had a fair few of them recently. I mean, the one that springs to mind, and it was actually the last time Derek Adams was in charge, was Matt Macy. He came with so much promise. Was a loanee from Arsenal, I think it was. Came in late after we had another loanee from Wolves who broke his leg in the first pre-season friendly, was out for the rest of the season. So we went and got Matt Macy, and for a 6'5" goalkeeper, the inability to command his own box was unbelievable. And the biggest blunt. I don't know if you've ever seen the video. I was playing Scunthorpe last game of the season. He manages to injure himself. Tries, instead of just taking the ball down, he had the ball in his hand. Instead of just getting the referee to stop play, he threw it out of play, but didn't not with enough power. Scunthorpe got the ball and scored, which caused a few issues the last game of the season. But he was awful. He wasn't really a shot stopper. He didn't command his box. He wasn't really good at one-on-ones. I don't really know why he was a goalkeeper, to be honest. But
Okay.
Matt Macy for me.
All right.
Can I throw one in?
Please. You go on, man, Chris.
Yeah. A Dutch player, Robert Tolaj.
Oh yeah.
Two appearances for us. 2017. He was troubled by persistent back injury, and he was released at the end of the season. Absolutely rotten goalkeeper. But who was he signed by? Derek Adams. Oh dear.
He had some howlers, but he also gave us Graham Carey and Ruben Lamares.
Yeah, I know.
Right, in the comments, who have they missed then? It's dodgy goalkeepers. Right then, thank you very much, you two. We're up to the A to Z. Letter F we head into then. Dude must know, we've found all these so easy so far, both of you. Let's see if F continues to flummox you. Any obvious ones here, Chris?
Well, there's a couple worthy of mention before I nominate my player of F. We got Cole Fletcher, who was with us from 2009 to 2011. He made 107 appearances for us, 9 goals. Led us through the turmoil of exiting administration. Nice guy, good manager, captain, and a great player for us. And I'd also like to put in probably that somebody that Rhys isn't aware of because it's a bit before his time. Jim Purnell, another keeper that we had from Arsenal. We had him from 1970 to 76, 207 appearances for us, and he was a great keeper. Got us promotion in 74. He led us to the semi-finals of the League Cup in that year. But my man for the F nomination would be David Frio. 2000 to 2005, 185 appearances, 44 goals, including the second goal that nobody will forget against QPR in April 2004, which crowned us champions and got us up into the championship with the immortal words of Gordon Sparks when he scored it. That's it, 2-0, Argyle are up. And that is David Frio, our French legend.
Brilliant. Rhys, can you topple that?
I can't topple that. The only one I had for honourable mention, and it's not even because he was a good player or anything. There's a story behind it. When I don't know if Chris, you remember, there was a superstore opened in Drake Circus, our shopping centre in Plymouth, and on the opening night there was players all invited there. You could go in there and you could get things signed by them. And I, as a 8-year-old, went and got a Plymouth Argyle gnome. And it's signed by Johan Foley, who was also in there.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me since I was 8 years old. So for me, it's Johan Foley, and it's with my gnome.
That's about the size of Johan as well, wasn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Who'd have
And
thought?
that sits right above me every day we do the podcast. So
Brilliant.
that was a nice little one.
Right, come on then. Let us know in the comments. You must have some more Fs that we've not mentioned. All right, cheers you two then. Northampton played well against Cardiff. We spoke to our Cardiff fans. They said they're not a bad team at all. So this is not going to be straightforward. So yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck on Saturday. We'll be back here next week, of course, to review how that game has gone. Thank you very much for your company. Great to see you all after this international break. We've got 18 weeks now of uninterrupted Argyle games all the way through now to
Thanks for cheering me up.
March the 26th. 18 weeks of this. Can't wait. See you then.